Welcome back to High Gain Guitar Academy. My name's Neil, and we're going to get into major and minor pentatonic scales. Now, a lot of people, when they refer to the pentatonic scale, you may also hear it called the blues scale. It's one of the most common scales in most music, especially in rock and metal, things like that, which is kind of where we're going to apply it. But when people refer to that scale, they often only think of one of the shapes. They often do the minor, call it the pentatonic, and call it a day. Well, that's not the case. There's also a major version. Sometimes you need a happy sounding version of a simple scale. Now let's look at the basic pentatonic scale that everybody is kind of taught at first, okay? This is going to be the blues pentatonic scale in the key of A. This is actually going to be A minor, okay? So check it out. We're going to start at the 5th fret of the big E string. This is where this scale starts. This is the key of A. Then pinky is going to go to the 8, same string, right? From there, we go to the A string, 5-7. I'm going to use my pointer and ring finger. Next string, 5-7 again. Next string, the G string, 5-7 again. You're starting to see why this is so easy. The B string now is just like the first string. It's going to be 5-8. And then the very last string, the 5 of the little E. So altogether, that minor pentatonic scale in the key of A minor here, that's the shape that we all kind of learn at first as like, that's your pentatonic scale, that's your blues scale. But what about the major? Well, check this out. What if I played an A major chord and then played this? Well, that fits very well with the major because that's the major pentatonic. Now, I'm going to show it to you, but before I do, I would like to make a point that the major and minor pentatonic scales are almost mirror images of each other. They're pretty much the exact same shape. You just start from a different point. And I know that seems weird. You're like, huh? But check it out. For the minor pentatonic, I'm going to start from our root note. Now, your root note is where you start from. I always think about, where does a tree or a plant start from? It starts from the root. So your root note, the key of A, this is where we're starting. It's going to be with my pointer finger, and we're going to ascend, go up with the notes for the minor scale here, right? Now, to do the major, we're going to do basically the same shape, but instead of starting with our pointer finger on that root note, start with your pinky. So now what we're going to do is basically the exact same shape, but we're going to go underneath the root note. We're going to go kind of in the back door here, all right? So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our pinky, just the 5 of the big E. Then moving to the A string, we're going to go 2-4. Then on the D string, 2-4 again. Same thing on the G, 2-4. On the B string, 2-5, back to the stretch. And on the last string, the little E, 2-5. So you may notice that the only difference in these two shapes is for the minor version, there's 2 notes on the first string, 1 note on the last string. For the major version, there's 1 note on the first string, 2 notes on the last string. So they're almost mirror imaged that way, okay? But the idea is no matter what, I end up back at this 5th fret octave of whatever key I'm in, right? It happens to be the 5th fret because we're in A. But you always end up in the same spot. So if you go above the root note with that shape, it's minor. If you go below the root note with that shape, that's your major. Check it out. I'll play the chord, the corresponding scale, and then the chord again. Here's A minor. And then A major. It's that simple. Let's try doing it in a different key just to, show you the point that you can move it anywhere and it's going to be the same thing. So let's move up a full step to the key of B, okay? Now B on your E string, then B note is at the 7th fret, okay? So let's play a B minor chord and then that same pentatonic scale, but this time starting from the 7th fret. So here's a B minor chord. Now we're going to do the pentatonic minor. Now to do the major, same thing as before. Wherever we started from with our pointer, we are now going to start from with our pinky and kind of go under with that shape. So we're going to play a B major now. and then do the scale. I think that your minds are probably as blown right now as mine was when I first realized this. I don't even remember if I was taught this, and my guitar teacher was really good when I was a kid, but this is one of those things I just sort of realized after years of playing songs and you know, trying to be a well-rounded guitarist, that this is the most simple scale and the most easy to relate the major and the minor because they're the same shape. It's just where you start from. So there you go, guys. That's kind of a 2-for-1 right there. I think that's a great scale to use, especially being that the pentatonic is one of the most common scales that you hear in a lot of rock and you know, metal music. So there you go. You're welcome. Use it, and we'll see how you do in the future with it when you're a big rock star playing in stadiums. And remember that I taught you the pentatonic scale. All right, guys.